Hi everyone, welcome to this new tutorial about Matomo analytics. Today's video is going to be very interesting for web analysts. So as a web analyst myself, the main frustration that I have with Matomo analytics is that it's if you want to push it, let's say a little bit, it's kind of technical. As you can see on the forum.matomo.org, actually most of the questions that you have within the forums are always about technical things. And I'm going to show you today through the example of the custom alert API of Matomo that there is always a way of finding by yourself the information that you are looking for. If, for example, you cannot find it straight away within the documentation of Matomo. So I'm just going to take one use case example and explain you step by step how you can figure it out. So what I will do today, I will explain how you can, let's say, create automatic alerts within Matomo. So I don't know if you know what are custom alerts, but as its name stands for it, it allows you to create a condition that you define on which you would like to receive an email about. So let's say if the number of visits reach a specific threshold, for example, and you would like to receive either an SMS or either an email, or either inform your colleagues that actually your Matomo website reach a specific threshold. So it can be either regarding the visits by browser, anything, and according to days and so on and so forth. So that's great, but imagine that tomorrow, for example, you have to create like I don't know, like hundreds or thousands of custom alerts, and you cannot do it, let's say, straight away. I mean, if you just click on this button and create the alert one by one, probably it's going to take you a full day or some hours, even a full week, and you need to check everything one by one, and probably you need to redo that for many websites. And there is one way actually you can overcome all of this is by using the API. So as I mentioned in another video, you have the tracking API and the reporting API. And reporting API does not only mean creating report, it means as well how you can add, how you can inject, let's say, some let's say features, some features configuration within Matomo Analytics. And here within the developer.matomo.org documentation, you have the full documentation about how you can add custom alert within Matomo Analytics automatically just by using some command line. So this is what I'm going to do today. And as you can see here, you don't have any example, right? It happens sometimes that within the documentation of Matomo, there's no example, basically because I guess it's either for security reasons and either because maybe they don't have the time to make the example. And here, for example, this one is a bit problematic because you have many parameters and you don't really know actually what are the different values which are expected for each parameter. So we know, for example, that those are optional, right? Every time that you see an equal and a quote, it means that it's optional, but for all of them, you don't know it, right? So if you perform, for example, your request straight away, so I'm gonna do it, for example, here, and I'm gonna let's say I'm gonna enter here some text, right? And I'm gonna push it. So here what it's telling me is, okay, you got it wrong, right? You got an error message telling you that the parameter that you insert here is wrong, and it may take you actually several hours in order to figure out what are the expected value for each of those parameters. And sometimes it's not that trivial, and you need to figure out how to do it. So in a previous video, I was explaining you how you could easily create a spreadsheet on which you will keep actually a record of all the different configuration which are expected in order to create actually your full file about all the curl, let's say, requests that you want to send. But that's not going to be the topic of today. Here, what I advise you, because this is one module, custom alert, but as you can see, there are many, many other modules. So the problematic that you may face of finding out the different value here, you may face it for many other API. And today I found out a way of how to overcome this, and that's what this video is about. So sorry if I talk too much. So my piece of advice would be the following one. If you are not sure about the different parameters which are expected here, don't waste your time, go over here and create your own alerts, right? So you're going to create one alert, and this alert is going to be, let's say, my YouTube custom alert, right? This is the name that I'm going to give it. That's going to be on a weekly basis, and I'm going to send the report to myself. Okay, send the report to my friends at lulu. Oh no, damn it, that's a real website. So I'm going to say just my friends .com, for example, which could be another website actually. I'm gonna keep this one, or yeah, just for the show, I'm gonna take the country one. I'm gonna go for a match of any what, I don't know, but let's go for actions, and when the value is decreased more than, this one is a bit complicated, so increase more than 80, right? Compared to the previous week, and let's save it, right? So I have no idea what I did here, but what happened by creating my YouTube custom alert here, if I go within my database that I have up here, and if I refresh my database, actually here I decided to go within a table which is called Matomo alert, because of course every time that I'm creating an alert up here, the value are stored somewhere, and those values are exactly the one which are expected actually to have within your API request. So if I refresh my page over here, I will see that my YouTube custom alert took the value report. So it means that here the user country get country is the value which is report unique ID. So that's this given, let's say, report. So if I just take it out like this, I'm going to do this example in order to, let's say, show you that it works. So let's go over here, and we say that this is the report. So let's say we go over here and we say report unique ID is going to be this one. Okay, it's the get country. And if I go over here, so what do I have left? I have the period, which is a week. So I'm going to take, to change it, probably I'm going to take day, my YouTube custom alert, and I'm just going to take this one. Just going to say, okay, that's going to be my API alert. My API alert. Okay, API. I'm going to keep the day one anyway. Email me. Oh, yeah, I'm interested in knowing what's the value which have been taken. So here the email me is one, and here it expects to find a value like my friends at myfriends.com. Okay, so let's take this one, for example, and let's say mail me. Where was it? Do additional emails. Here, for example, I put the value 0, but then in my case, I'm gonna say, I love you guys. I love you guys at I don't know, video.com. Okay, so here I got it. The metric is gonna be, yeah, I can keep those compared to, I can keep this one, report unique, report condition, and condition and value. Oops, report condition, where is it? Report condition. Okay, this is the metric, and it's null and null, so I can keep it. And as you can see here, because I have done my lovely spreadsheet, normally if I execute this request, it should actually automatically create a custom alert without any errors that I mentioned before, because I properly filled it in with the right value. So let's see if that works. So just gonna copy it and paste it. As you can see, it's telling me I don't know. It's telling me result 5, so I don't know what's gonna happen. But I guess if I refresh my page up here, okay, I can see it, my API alert. So I won't be surprised if I can see it up here. Lovely, it works, right? You can see my API alert. It has been imported, and it's taking actually all the value and ID that I expected with all the one that I included within my, oh, okay, that's interesting. As you can see, it didn't took actually the, yeah, I may have done a little typo or anything, because it didn't, yeah, you see, additional email, something went wrong here, and I don't know why it sent it and it didn't send it, but the request has been properly sent, so I have no idea. I should investigate it a little bit more. And I have the feeling as well that one information is missing, but it let it pass anyway. So I guess that was regarding this part and this part, which were optional. So that's why they are empty, even if it does not explain why this one is empty. But I don't know. I should investigate it a little bit more, as I can see from what I had up here, right? I had my double quote. I'm just not sure if I can include them within my request. I guess that's the point. I guess that if I would have included the double quote within my request, it should not have happened. Maybe I can give it another shot, but it will then probably break my request. So yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. That's probably something I could try it out in another video. So yeah, I guess that you get the point of how to find out within the API documentation the different value that Matomo expect to see when you are sending a request. For that, you need, of course, to use the database of Matomo. Just for your information, I tried to do it before by looking at the source file of Matomo. That's what we have up here. And so those are the source file, but within the, let's say, the comment, I didn't find the real example that I expected, but you get some hints on each time. For example, like, you know, that the value compared to is expecting an integer or is expecting a boolean or a string. So yeah, in any cases, you can either look at those source code file in order to get some hints, or either to create it first within the UI of Matomo and then look through the database in order to see the different value which are expected. Hope you enjoyed this video and hope you will be able to, let's say, deploy as many alerts that you want just in a couple of requests and without much effort within Matomo. Thanks for watching.